it's now time to get our beach box ready for 3D printing. And the 3D printing process can be a bit awkward for something like this. For example, is we printed it as we see it right now. When we got it off the printer, and by the way, it would print, but when we got off the printer, we would have to spend a lot of time cleaning it out, and a lot of that cleaning out would require a lot of time and patience with needle nose pliers, and we'd probably break it while we're trying to do it. So we need to print it in a few parts, and we need to not print certain items as well. Before we do that, we're going to organize our bodies, because our bodies, our deck and our design is made up of lots of different bodies. We probably should organize it. So I'm going to right click up on here, and I'm going to create a new group. And the first group I'm going to create is one for the posts. So I've got my posts in one place so that I can actually close that off and not see it, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to click on this first post. I'm going to go down to the bottom and shift click on the bottom post. I'm going to right click on and go move to group. And the group, I'm going to here, I've got all those things selected. I can select more if I wanted to. For example, I could include the shutters if I really wanted to. I'm going to hit select, and I'm going to put that into the posts group there, and click on OK. Then now in the posts group, I can now turn the whole group on and off as a whole. Doesn't totally help me with 3D printing, but it does help me to organize what I'm doing. So I've gone and created a whole bunch of groups while I paused it there, and incidentally you can drag them into there, and you can also change the order. So for example, you want this in alphabetical order to make it easier to find, you can do that. So basically I've got my shutters in there. I can now turn my shutters on and off. I can turn all my architraves on and off, and you can see that they make a big difference. My windows on and off, and my posts on and off. So that's important that we can do that. We also need to remember that our roof section needs to be a separate thing, and any other roof section that you have, say for example, if you have a lean-to off the back, any roof section needs to be a separate body to the rest of your unit. So we're getting ready for 3D print. The first thing I'm going to do just really quickly is turn the posts off, turn the windows off, I'm going to turn the roof off, and I'm probably not going to print the shutters, but we'll worry about those in a second. Now I'm going to get this house ready for 3D printing, and one of the things that we might want to do when we're 3D printing is to be able to display the unit with some lighting in it, some LED lighting in it. So it's just to make it look that little bit more pretty. So I'm basically going to put some holes in my floor. So I'm going to put the circle tool, and I'm going to click on the deck, and I'm going to put them in the least obvious corners, which is one over here. And it's actually going to be an 8mm hole. And we're going to get a circle on this side, 8mm hole here as well. And I'm going to move them. I'm going to go distance so that they're 4mm away from the wall, so they're pretty much touching the wall, and 4mm in from the corner, so it's pretty much touching the corner, like so. And I'm going to do the same with this one, distance from here to here of 4mm. And because I want these two to line up, rather than using the dimension tool, I'm going to use the horizontal vertical tool. Click on this one, click on that one. They're now fixed in place. I'm going to hit stop sketch, and when I push those through, I'm going to go Q. I'm going to click on that one there, that one there. There's also a little bit in the corner, but I'm also going to click on both, so that they're actually going to have that little bit extra space, just in case my cabling for my LED is a bit big. No, I'm not getting into that, but that's fine. We'll unclick that one then. I can't quite select that little spot there because it's not bounded by a wall. So I'm going to press on that. I'm going to go -3, I believe my thickness was, and click on OK. So I've now got these holes just discreetly sit in the corner, and you might be able to see them from certain views, but they're not going to obstruct you too much. That's just where the cabling is going to go up for any LED lighting that I might use. So we need to decide what I am and what I'm not going to print. And I don't really think at this point in time it's wise for me to try and print the shutters. I don't know that they're going to work. I will test that at one stage to see, but I think that they might be a bit weak. So basically I'm going to just leave it like that, and that's what I'm actually going to print. The architraves will be there, everything like that. So basically let's go into this group here, select everything, and right click and go hide. Unfortunately, hiding the group doesn't hide them properly. So now that I've turned them off, turn the group on and off, they're completely hidden. I'm going to close that group back up. Just going to work through, and I'm going to hide these ones as well. So click on the top one, shift click on the bottom one, and choose hide. You can also use the V key. So let's do that with our shutters. Let's click on these two and right click and go V. Sorry, don't have to right click. Just click on these two and go V, and they're hidden. Okay, so that's what I'm going to essentially print first. That's the house unit. So I'm now going to right click up here, and I'm going to save as STL, and I'm going to choose to preview my mesh just to make sure it's going to work. If I get an error down here, that could be a bad thing. You might need to restart. I'm going to make sure that this is unchecked. I don't want that checked at all. And I'm going to click on OK. And that's going to save it as Beachbox. And I'll just call that base. And hit save. That's just saving to my desktop. I can now Dropbox that particular file. Now I can just turn the roof on. And I can press the Make button to do this one slightly different way. Click on that particular object there, the roof, and make sure this is unchecked again. Hi, click on OK, and beach box roof, and save that to the desktop as well. Those two files need to be sent to the Dropbox in order for your Beachbox to be 3D printed.